So we're gonna get going on the F350 here today. Got some other stuff I'm gonna have to run off and do midway here, so just gonna kind of get started and get time lapse set up, I think, and just plow on through it. But the gist of it is we're gotta pull the glow plugs in the injectors. So this valve cover's got to come off, and then the other valve cover's got to come off. And then in order to get the driver's side off, we got to take this intake tube off, and then there's, I believe if I remember right, there's a PCV connection back there, but that's all pretty easy, minor. Passenger side, we got to disconnect the oil dipstick, and then I think if I remember right, I've done this a couple times before, that little box there can come off to give a little more clearance to get that valve cover out with the air box there. But yeah, the valve cover bolts are just 13mm or 1/2 inch hex, so that's all that is. And I think basically it's 13mm and 10mm for just about everything, except for, in my case, I got an aftermarket intake, so I got a Phillips there. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get the time lapse, I guess, set up and get to work. And for today's distraction, we have this pile. I just got to change out the blower motor for the Boss Man. Apparently it's been squealing and now only works on 2 speeds. So, yeah. Well, after that brief intermission there, back working on the truck. I'm going to quick take and pull as much fuel out of the fuel bowl as I can, because when I pull the injectors, the fuel is going to drain down along with the oil that's in the heads down into the cylinders, and I'd rather keep as much of the fuel out as I can. So I'm going to try to suck as much fuel out as I can, and then I'll have to just deal with the rest. I would use my drain, but I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but there's a little, the hose right there. It's hard to get it to focus. If you look to the left of the yellow handle for the drain, there's the hose, the little hose clamp, which is not attached to the little nipple underneath it. So I'm just going to see if I can use this dollar turkey baster from Wally World and see how much I can suck out, and then I'll probably just deal with that. So yeah, I'm going to get going on that, and then we'll end up getting this other valve cover pulled the rest of the way off and start getting things disconnected and pulling injectors. There we go. All 8 are out. Got that side covered up with some paper towels, since that's easier to get paper towels in there than the valve cover. But haven't pulled the glow plugs yet. They're down. There's one right there. You can kind of see it. Those are just a deep well 10 millimeter. Get those out. But yeah, got all 8 out. Pretty standard. I've only ever actually been under the valve covers at 2 of these motors, but the other motor had over 100,000 miles more on it, and it was just as clean as this. So these motors, as long as you keep oil changes on them, tend to stay pretty clean. So yeah, we got the injectors over here on the bench. The one main thing you want to watch for when you pull these things and put new O-rings and stuff on is these copper crush washers on the bottom. And all 8 have come out. In the 3 or 4 times I've pulled injectors on one of these, I think it's 3 times, I've never had the copper washers stick in the bore, but it always pays to double check. But as you can see, they're pretty carboned up on the nozzles, so I might take and let those sit in some mineral spirits or something like that to take and try to dissolve that carbon, or sit in some carb cleaner or something like that to dissolve that carbon up. But we're gonna get these things broken down so we can get those intensifier pistons off the machine shop and get new O-rings installed and get these things cleaned up, ready to run again. So woohoo. Well, we got the intensifier pistons back from the machine shop with their trim, their little haircut, and we got the glow plug showed up in the mail today, so we're going to end up cleaning and putting back together these injectors, and then we're going to, hopefully tonight yet, get the truck running. So, gonna set up the time lapse, I think, and just let her fly. There's plenty of videos online of going through these injectors, so, yep. Got any questions, feel free to ask, though. Also, as a side note, this here we show the broken nozzle spring that I found, so it's a point of whenever you tear your injectors apart, always plan on at least having a couple of these things around if you can, just in case. There we have it. 8 injectors all rebuilt, new O-rings, new nozzle springs, and new check balls. So yep, we're gonna get the bores all cleaned up in the truck. From what I remember, when I pulled the injectors, they all looked pretty good, so shouldn't take too much cleaning. And I'm gonna get these all stabbed back in. As always remember to use lube.